Hey, we're back from Peach Auction Sales and some fantastic stuff happened down there. We sold the Warriors for Heroes bike, raised those guys some good money, and that went to a proud owner in South Florida, believe it or not. The Corvette, we sold it at Peach Auction Sales, just a fantastic, I was so excited. The electricity that happens at an auction, just, I thrive on it. Spent some quality time with an old friend, Ted Vernon. In this business, there's not many strangers, and you just don't know who you're going to run into. We ran into Ted Vernon down there. He has a TV show. He has a huge dealership in Miami where he sells thousands of collector cars. That's his livelihood. That's his business, and he's truly a car guy. Well, you know what I realized after Peach Auction Sales? He's truly in love with my wife. They were two peas in a pod. Where Ted was, she was. Where she was, Ted was. I don't know how the guy conducted business for talking to my wife the whole time.
32, he had 31, 32, 31, 32, 33, 32.
They moved my 65 Corvette for my customer, and they got fantastic money for that car. That car was the premier car that day and brought the most money out of any car sold. That was the top seller. And I can't thank them enough. They really helped my client move that car. With the history that car had, it being a one-owner car, only 32,000 miles, that car knocked the socks off a lot of folks down there. The bike we built for Warriors for Heroes, which is the charity of my choice. That's the charity that just gets my heart, my blessings, and my money. We built them, Chuck and I at Screaming Vultures Custom, built them that custom cafe racer. And you just don't know what the crowd's gonna think about something like that. That bike went over reserve. So the least amount of money I would have took for that bike, these folks at Peach Auction Sales fetched me more money. Now guess what? 100% went to that charity. There's no buyer's fees, there's no seller's fees, there's nothing. It's just hand the money to the charity, which is fantastic. Hey, and the Slayer sold down there. The Zombie Slayer sold.
James, tell us about the Zombie Slayer.
The Zombie Slayer Chuck and I built a couple years ago. The bike has been featured in 4 different magazines. It's been on TV show Hot Rods and Rust, and it's coming out in a movie in September, The Test Group the movie. Everything over reserve, Chuck and I and my wife are going to donate everything over reserve to this same charity.
And which, you know what, we built it a couple years ago. The bike was just sitting around here. I was tired of tripping over it. And so now a new family gets to take that bike and enjoy it. And enjoy it, I hope they do. So Peach Auction Sales, I'm telling you, they hit me a home run, is what they did. But today, we're gonna go back to the shop. We're gonna spend a lot of time in the shop. If you remember the Corvair we was working on last month, it is going to paint tomorrow. So we're gonna go back there and take a look at it. We've got the VW is going to paint the day after tomorrow. We'll take a look at it and talk to you about some body work and some things that are going on. We've got a very special car in the shop, a Mazda RX-7. And it's a true hot rod. Now you're thinking, Mazda RX-7 hot rod? Yeah, I'll show you this car. It has been hibernated. That's a made-up word. It's got a Ford V8 stuffed in this little Mazda RX-7. We're going to take a look at carburetors. I've had a lot of questions in the past, different things about my truck, carburetor, fuel injected, this, that, and the other. We're going to take a look at different carburetors, all the way back to the old-timey 1-barrel carburetor. We'll take a look at a 4-barrel carburetor, and then fuel injected. And then on top of that, we're going to take a look at fuel injected and supercharged. We'll head back to the shop and take a look at all these cool projects and see what's going on back there.
Welcome to Eagles Landing Country Club, the social hub of Henry County. We'd like to invite you to the club to take a look around and experience all the amazing benefits that membership offers. From our cool casual dining in our members lounge and Chop House 88, to our tennis facility, and of course our 27-hole championship golf course. Members also enjoy events, amenities, such as private events for social, business, and golf outings. Thank you, and we look forward to hearing from you for your personalized tour.
Fancy that fine jewelry, guaranteed to make her smile.
Here at Foundation Sports, we provide a fun family environment for children of all levels to reach their goals and perform to their highest potential. Both family and individual packages are available. Member clinics, skill testing, 24-hour access, discounted pricing on individual lessons, skill development, fall and winter program, as well as weekly and day camps. As a member, you would be entitled to discounts on Wilson and DeMarini products, as well as an assortment of items from our BSN catalog. Be sure to visit any of our 3 locations in Peachtree City, Lovejoy, and Stockbridge. Be sure to like us on Facebook and find us online at foundationsportsllc.com.
The 2015 Geranium Festival will be held on May 16th in McDonough. Sponsored by the McDonough Lions Club, the Geranium Festival is one of the best in all of Georgia. There's free parking, free shuttle service, and free admission. So join us from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on May 16th for the 2015 Annual Geranium Festival.
So this is the Beetle you guys have been seeing us work on for the last several months. This car in a couple of days will be in the spray booth getting painted. Now the really cool thing about this car, and especially being a Beetle, it's a component car. Now you guys have seen me paint a Beetle several months ago in a million pieces. We actually had the body off the frame. This car, we didn't pull it off the running gear, but it's still a component car enough that we removed the fenders, the hood, the deck lid, or bonnet if you're in Germany. And it makes for a lot nicer job, because in between the fenders and in between the body is a rubber bead that goes in place. The VW is a fantastic car. Now that is a full-on restoration. It's a component car. We've blown that car apart. We're going to paint it in pieces. It gets all new interior, new motor, new trans. It's just going to be a brand new car when that car rolls out. The neat thing about this car, this is about the 7th car we've done for this guy over the last several years. This car is going electron blue, which is a Corvette color for 1 year, and that's 2012. This car is going to be hot when it's done. Hopefully this will be in the booth in the next couple of days. Omar gave me some bad news today. You know, it saddens me. Omar came to me today, and he said, man, I've got some bad news. And I didn't even know the boy knew how to talk. He just never talks. He just works. I said, what's wrong, Omar? He says, I've got to take another job. He's afraid I was going to be mad at him. Omar, you can look and smile. This is your last episode, your last show. Omar's retired, and he says bodywork's not for him anymore. I think he's talking about brain surgery, lobotomies. I'm not sure what he's wanting to get into next, but Omar's retiring. Truth of the matter is, I couldn't be prouder of him. He's bettering himself. He's going up to big corporate where he has room for advancement. So, and he's quality people, and I'll tell you what's the truth. He's leaving here on fantastic terms. And I told him today, you want to come back? Door's open. If it doesn't work out, you come right on back like you just didn't miss a day's work. Hey, let's go take a look in the shop and see what we've got going on. You'll notice that in the yard is all the Beetle components. Everything's been chemically washed. They're sitting here drying. They'll probably start taping this car up tomorrow. Let's go take a look in the shop and see what we got. The Corvair. We've nicknamed that car the Putt-Putt. So on our daily work schedule, it says Putt-Putt, and they know what car to go to. That's a fantastic little car. It actually belongs to a state trooper here in Georgia. It belongs to his wife. She found that car in a junkyard of all places. You've watched us go through several phases of this car. It's a really cool car. David is over here taping things up. The car has been final sanded. All the body work has been done to this car. Normally we do the taping over next to the booth, but we have got so many cars in line to be painted that we've actually debunked our body shop. We've made it dust free, and David's in here prepping it and ready to tape. David, so tomorrow, no problem, right?
Yes, sir. She's ready to roll.
He's got all the seam sealer in place. Seam sealer is a special product that goes in places where cars have been welded together. It's kind of a rubberized product. You paint over it, and you don't put Bondo in these places. It expands and contracts well, and you'll notice it on all the body seams, like up here in the front. Wherever there's a body seam, gets seam sealer. It's a neat product. This car is going back the original color, which is a weird teal green. And I say weird, it's not really a weird color, it's just a color you just don't see much. You've seen it back in the 60s and 70s, and the lady that owns this car wants it to go back the right color. We'll get it painted, get it reassembled. She's buying some new things for it, like some rubber parts and what have you. But that should be a neat little classic car. Almost a forgotten car. People forgot that car existed. But I mean, the styling behind it is just cool, the way it's set up, and it's just a fun little car to have. All in all, it's a cool car, and should look really nice when it comes out of paint tomorrow.
It looks slick, but once you get that final finish on it, man, it just really sets it off.
It's going to look good. You know, the great thing about this car is the interior was pristine. You know, it's not like we had to do anything there.
No,
you know,
we didn't have to touch it, not one bit.
Clean it up.
Yeah.
Clean it up. Let's go take a look at the RX-7. The RX-7 is another car we've got in. Now, the RX-7 belongs to a friend of mine, and it is only here for a paint job, but I want to show off his car a little bit. So this is a Mazda RX-7. Now, the customer that brought us this car, he only wants the exterior painted. Now, that's normally not what we do. We're more of a restoration or high-end detail shop. But in this case, I don't want him to waste the money on the car. And I know I'm chuckling about that a little bit because this car is going to burn up the drag strip. He's got a Mustang V8 stuffed in that car, and he's going to go burn the drag strip up, but he wants it to look pretty sharp going down the drag strip. And that's what we're doing. We're going to paint that car silver. That car will be gone in just a couple of days. It's only been here a couple of days. So that's just a neat little project. I wanted you to see that people on their own can do some really cool stuff, and they rely on a professional like us just to paint it. And that's okay to do that. My customer has stuffed a 5.0 out of a Mustang in an RX-7. And I know it looks a little rough, but it's just strictly for drag racing. And it's just a cool, so you know, when it comes to cars, if you can dream it, you can probably do it. And this is just good proof. A little old Mazda RX-7 with a 5.0 Mustang motor, transmission stuffed in. It runs like a top. He's got it tuned great, I mean, it's ready to go. We're just going to make it shiny and silver, and he's going to go burn up the drag strip. So that's just cool stuff, man. If you can dream it, it can be done.
Did you know that in 2002, I perfected the Gordo's cheese dip recipe? And then we offered it to the good people of Stockbridge in 2003. That creamy, smooth, and luscious cheese flavor made with real cheese and wholesome ingredients has become a favorite. And now we're sharing it with folks across the country. And there's so many different ways Gordo's can add a flavorful twist to most any meal, like Philly steak and cheese, the easy cheesy biscuits, Gordo's burrito, and of course our delicious stovetop mac and cheese, and so much more. But do you know the real reason why Gordo's cheese dip is so popular?
Because it tastes good?
Because it tastes good.
This is Dr. Gayla Sylvan with Eagles Landing Skin Enhancement and Longevity Centers, and this is your Health Minute. Over 80 million people suffer from chronic neuropathic and musculoskeletal pain. These people suffer despite surgery, pain medications, and injections. Many don't realize that we can develop a plan to treat this pain utilizing electroanaesthesia, osteopathic manipulation, and massage therapy. These services can help eliminate or reduce the pain and restore an active lifestyle and reduce disability. Furthermore, many don't realize that these services are often covered by Medicare and other insurance companies. We are able to reduce, eliminate, and treat chronic pain without medications and without surgery.
Our relationship with Heritage Bank and the people goes back some time. We have to have flexibility and support from our bank, and that's what we have.
The situation with Heritage is they are so uniquely different than all the other banks. They're probably the premier community bank there is anywhere in the country.
It doesn't matter what time of day you go into the bank, Heritage Bank, the people are just wonderful.
I opened a business account with Heritage Bank, and it's just been a great relationship. The bankers are just friendly, and it takes a partnership. And with that partnership, my business accounts have grown, and I hope they continue to grow with Heritage.
Thank you for calling High Priority Plumbing. This is Brittany. How can I help you?
Yeah. Do you guys have any ordained plumbers?
No, sir, but we have expert professional plumbers on staff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Look, I have a plumbing emergency.
I understand, sir, and I will be glad to assist you with getting someone out to your home.
How soon can they get here?
Glad you called us for that got out of hand.
Oh, wow. Are you sure everything's okay?
Oh, yes, sir. We took care of it. Thank you for calling High Priority Plumbing. Because at High Priority Plumbing, our customers are our priority.
You are my hero.
Crazy about a shot,
I've had a lot of questions when I popped the hood on my old truck, the Beast. What is that? What carburetor? What this, that, and the other? And so what I want to do is I want to take the time today and kind of talk about fuel delivery. A lot of people label us as a body shop, and we're really not. We're a hot rod shop. We're a car shop. We do it all, from motors, transmissions, paint and body, interior. We do it all. One of the things I want to show you is antiquated fuel systems. Now, I'm going to show you this little 1-barrel carburetor. Now, this is neat stuff. This is just a 1-barrel carburetor. And the reason it's a 1-barrel is it has 1 cylinder. Okay? This is old stuff. This actually came off of the 55 Chevy that's sitting outside. You've seen us working on this 55 Chevy for several months. But on that car, we're putting a V8 in it. And that car was a 6-cylinder car, and it came with a 1-barrel carburetor. Now, fast forward several years wanting to make your car go fast. So they quickly realized that the 6-cylinder cars, and even the old flathead V8s, came with 1-barrel carburetors. Companies started producing speed parts where you could put 2 1-barrels on a flathead, or 3 1-barrels, and then 2 barrels, and then go on and on. This is a 4-barrel. This is a Holley 4-barrel carburetor. It's got 4 barrels, 4 times the amount of fuel. Of course, stuff more fuel in a car and it goes faster. There's other things you've got to do too to make them go faster, but fuel is one thing that you need more of. The more fuel, the faster you're going to go. Of course, intakes and heads and exhaust and all that good stuff. The car you probably drive is your commuter. That's a fuel-injected car. If it's a modern car, it's fuel-injected. Now, personally, I like the old school stuff, like a 4-barrel. I like to hear the 4-barrel open. I like to see the fuel running. I like to be able to tune it with a screwdriver. Modern mechanics tune these cars with computers. Now, the really cool thing about that is this. Even though this is a modern 4-barrel, it's somewhat antiquated. I love a 4-barrel carburetor. I can build them with my eyes closed, like the 65 Corvette that went to auction. I built the carburetor on it, got it tuned properly. 1-barrels are just stuff you can just build sitting on the kitchen table. A novice can build a 1-barrel. A 4-barrel takes more knowledge in tuning. I like to tune them with a screwdriver. I like to hear them, smell them. I like to walk around to the exhaust and see if it's running rich or lean. But modern system is that fuel injected, and that's the way of the future, man. I guess I'm gonna have to get up to speed on a lot of that. So, but it's neat stuff. The really neat setup is on the Corvair. Now, the Corvair is a 4-cylinder engine. It's just a little 4-cylinder, but the cool thing about a Corvair is it has 2 one-barrel carburetors. Has 2 one-barrel carburetors delivering fuel to the little 4-cylinder. Now, granted, the car probably would have run fine with a single carburetor, but to get more power and more performance out of the Corvair, from the factory it came with 2 one-barrels. Now, you'll notice on this car, one of the one-barrels is newer than the other. I had a time getting these 2 one-barrels in sync. So it takes patience, it takes trial and error, and it actually takes a lot of work to get things running right when you've got a 4-cylinder with 2 single-barrel carburetors. Now, fast forward to today. Today, cars don't come with carburetors. They come with something called fuel injection. Fuel injection is a whole different type of fuel delivery system. Now, a carburetor, back in the day, like on an A model, could have been gravity fed. In other words, the fuel just ran into it. Then later on in the late 40s and early 50s, they started pumping fuel through fuel pumps to the one-barrel carburetor you've seen sitting on a bench. Now, like my truck, the Beast, takes a massive fuel pump. Takes a lot of pressure to get the fuel to that big 4-barrel to burn it up and go down the drag strip. A modern car is fuel injected. It has electric fuel pumps and sometimes 2 fuel pumps. Takes a lot of pressure. That's what's on the 68. Now, this 68 actually has a fuel injected motor. What you'll notice on a fuel injected car is this. This is a fuel rail, and each cylinder has its own injector. So the injectors actually squirt fuel right into the cylinder. It's a very precise, very fast method of fuel delivery. Now, on top of that, this car is supercharged. That's this beast right here. The supercharger actually forces air into the cylinders, forces the fuel and the air into the cylinders at a very high rate, and a lot of it all at once. So these are 4 types of fuel delivery systems. You've got the old 1-barrel carburetor, which is antiquated. You've got the 4-barrel carburetor, which I love, but even today that's almost antiquated. And it wasn't but just a few years ago, and I mean maybe 5 to 6 years ago, the 4-barrel was the king. But today, fuel injected is the way to go. Fuel injected, not only that, but supercharged. So there's 4 types of fuel delivery systems that I just think is just cool. Man, I love tweaking on a 1-barrel. I love tuning a 4-barrel. I actually enjoyed tuning 2 1-barrels to get a 4-cylinder car to run right. Now, fast forward, we're working on fuel injection in the shop. It's just cool stuff. But I wanted you guys to see the whole mix. Now, this car is a resto mod. It's just merely a 68 body and everything underneath it, modern Corvette. But it's just cool stuff. That Camaro belongs to a good customer, and we're just tasked with doing all kinds of stuff to it. One of the problems I'm having with that car is the hood is vibrating. I can't figure out why. We've replaced all hood bumpers, all bushings, everything I can possibly dream of we've replaced on that car. But still, at about 55 miles per hour, there's a slight vibration in that hood. I will get it. I will fix it. I just got to find the problem. Hey, I've got a friend of mine up from Byron, Georgia. This is Jason Allman. He owns Byron Pawn Shop. He's a friend of mine that we met through the auction, didn't we? Right. And just built a friendship. He's just as goofy as I am when it comes to cars. Jason, I have been working on this car. I've got some hood vibrations I'm trying to get out. I need to go take it for a test drive. You want to go for a ride with me?
I'm game.
You're game?
Let's do it.
Good deal. So, but that's a neat car. That's a resto mod. That's a 68 Camaro with all modern drivetrain. And it's a neat car to drive. It's a good driving car. Drives as good as a modern car.
Combination of words I could say, but I will still tell you one thing, we're better together. Every girl crazy about a shot dance man.
You guys know that my charity is Warriors for Heroes. Let me tell you just a little bit about those guys. They used to be named Warrior Golf Camps of America. Now they've changed their name, and the reason they did that was they started helping first responders like policemen, firemen. You know, just a couple weeks ago, I know that they helped a policeman, a local policeman, move. They do all kinds of work out in our community that behind the scenes. They have service dogs. You know, over the course of the last couple of years, I do everything I can possibly do for those guys. And I never ask for anything in return. It absolutely shocked me. Last week, the two board members, Ted and Joe, walked in my office carrying a brown box. And also with them was a guy they introduced as the guy that owned the firearms company, Tresna. An engineer and a designer for Tresna. They walked in my office, showed me the brown box, said, take a look. When I opened the box, now I gotta give this a little history. I'm a gun junkie as well. I love firearms. That's mine and my wife's recreation. If we're not on the Harley, we're off shooting somewhere, blowing off some steam. I've actually built guns, legally built them. There's a way you can do it. They walked in the door, handed me the box, and says, "What do you think about this?" I started studying the gun. It's an AR-15, but it's a 9mm. They pointed out to me that the serial number is Warrior 1. This is the first of the first, and they gave me this gun as a gift. And I tell you, it was just good stuff, man. I can't thank them enough. So what they're doing is they're having 10 of these guns manufactured, and all of those guns is going to go help that charity. They're going to raffle them, auction them, or do whatever they do. But they wanted me to have the very first one, Warrior 1, and that just warmed my heart, you know.